In the heart of New York's Adirondack Mountains lies a place of stunning beauty and rich history, Lake George. Known as the Queen of American Lakes, this sparkling 32-mile-long stretch of water has captivated travelers, artists, and adventurers for centuries, from the first Native American tribes who called it shore home to the European settlers who arrived seeking fortune and escape. Lake George has always been more than just a body of water. It has been a crossroads of cultures, a stage for historic battles, and a sanctuary for those seeking place and adventure alike.
From the shores of the lake tranquil waters to its rugged islands, Lake George's history is as deep and varied as the waters themselves. It witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the clash of armies, and the creation of a community built on the promise of natural beauty and recreation.
We're going to go on a journey through time, uncovering the story of Lake George, the lake that has been and continues to be a symbol of the heart and spirit of the Adirondacks. I'm Don Rittner.
And I'm Justyna Kostek.
And this is
History on the Road.
Lake George was originally called Lake des Saints-Sacrements by French explorer Father Isaac Jogues in 1646. During the colonial era, the lake was a vital transportation and military corridor between British-controlled New York and French Canada.
In 1755, during the French and Indian War, British General William Johnson renamed the lake in honor of King George II. The Battle of Lake George, fought near the present-day village, was a critical engagement between British and French forces, securing British control of the region. Fort William Henry, built shortly after the battle, became a famous military site, later dramatized in The Last of the Mohicans. Even Thomas Jefferson admired Lake George.
During both the Revolutionary War and War of 1812, the Lake George region remained a key military area, guarding important travel routes between Canada and the American colonies.
The village of Lake George was founded by an Albany, New York businessman, James Caldwell, in 1787, when he purchased over 1,500 acres of land along the shores of Lake George in Warren County, New York. By 1810, this purchase had become the town of Caldwell. The name was changed to Lake George in 1962.
By the end of the 1700s, Caldwell was head of a New York-based marketing empire that produced and distributed numerous goods, including tobacco and snuff, to frontier communities in the northeastern United States and in Canada. To be more centrally located for his businesses, he moved his headquarters to Warren County in the early 1800s. He built a mansion on the lakeshore and encouraged development of the community. Thereafter, he split his time between Albany and Caldwell, while his son William began to take over parts of the business.
Caldwell was a prominent early settler and landowner who played a key role in the founding and development of Lake George Village, New York, in the early 19th century. Caldwell established a community at the southern end of Lake George. The village was originally named Caldwell in his honor.
He was instrumental in promoting tourism and settlement in the area by encouraging the building of hotels, roads, steamboats, and other infrastructure to attract visitors and residents. His vision helped Lake George become a popular resort destination in the 19th century, known for its natural beauty and historic sites.
Though the village was later renamed Lake George, Caldwell's efforts laid the foundation for its growth and identity as a major tourist destination in the Adirondacks.
Caldwell was vital in shaping the early development of Lake George, turning it into a thriving village and gateway to one of New York's most scenic regions.
By the 19th century, Lake George evolved from a military outpost into one of America's earliest and most popular resort destinations. The arrival of steamboats, railroads, and later automobiles made the village easily accessible to visitors from New York City, Albany, and beyond.
Grand hotels like the Fort William Henry Hotel and numerous steamboats catered to wealthy tourists seeking relaxation, fresh air, and scenic beauty. The nickname Queen of American Lakes emerged during this era, highlighting the region's pristine waters and dramatic mountain scenery.
Much of the history and promotion was done by Seneca Ray Stoddard, an American photographer, writer, cartographer, and artist best known for his work documenting the Adirondack Mountains in New York. His contributions were significant in several ways.
Stoddard's photographs captured the natural beauty of the Adirondacks, helping to raise public awareness of the region's landscapes and wilderness.
Through his guidebooks, especially the Adirondacks Illustrated, and stereoscopic images, he promoted tourism in the Adirondacks, making the region more accessible and appealing to city dwellers in the late 19th century.
His work helped fuel early conservation movements. By showcasing the pristine beauty of the Adirondacks, he indirectly contributed to the push for preserving the area, leading to the creation of the Adirondack Park.
He produced detailed maps of the Adirondack region, which were important resources for travelers and remain historically valuable.
Stoddard played a key role in shaping public perception of the Adirondacks and promoting its preservation through his visual and written work. The Adirondacks have played a major role in American art, especially in shaping landscape painting and environmental awareness. It was the birthplace of American landscape art. In the 19th century, the Adirondack Mountains inspired many artists of the Hudson River School, like Thomas Cole and Asher Duran, who captured the wild beauty of the region. These paintings helped define a uniquely American artistic identity. It also inspired artists like Winslow Homer, William James Tillman, and later artists such as Georgia O'Keeffe.
The Adirondacks romanticized nature. Artists portrayed the Adirondacks as a sublime, almost spiritual wilderness, untamed yet peaceful. This helped popularize the idea of nature as a place for personal reflection and healing.
Art also influenced conservation. Art played a big role in conservation efforts. Paintings and later photography of the Adirondacks helped build public support for preserving the land, which eventually led to the creation of the Adirondack Park in 1892, one of the first protected wilderness areas in the United States.
It became a place for artistic retreats. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Adirondacks became a heaven for artists, writers, and thinkers. Camps, studios, and colonies were set up, fostering creativity and shaping the cultural history of the region.
To this day, the Adirondacks remain a muse for artists across disciplines, painting, photography, sculpture, and more, due to their dramatic landscapes and deep cultural roots.
Lake George became known as the Queen of American Lakes, attracting wealthy travelers who built grand hotels and summer homes along the shore. The rise of tourism transformed the region's economy and identity, turning the lake into a sought-after summer retreat for those looking to escape the city for a respite in nature.
Today, Lake George is a destination for thousands who come here from around the world to enjoy its beauty, entertainment, and relaxation. Justyna and I took a walk around the village to experience a typical summer day. When I was a youngster during the 1960s, I made it a habit to visit the village every year to listen to rock and roll groups that played at various venues around the village. For Justyna, it was her first time. Visitors take part in many water sports, from boating to parasailing and riding the steamboats. A walk around the village reveals works of art, both indoors and outdoors, and many places to dine and drink and buy souvenirs or locally made products, where children can ride a pony and admire wildlife, and enjoy free concerts, or just enjoy looking at the majestic lake itself, or visit historic sites to learn about the importance of the area to the development of America. For 200 years, the Lake George Steamboat Company has been a key part in the development of Lake George Village. Beginning as early as 1817 with the first steamboat, the James Caldwell. He was the first director. The steamboat was 80 feet long, 20 feet wide, and had engines that were salvaged from the sunken Vermont on Lake Champlain. The steamboat's maximum speed was 4 miles per hour, as fast as a man-powered rowboat, and it only had one captain in its short lifetime, John Winans. In 1872, the steamboat company was purchased by the Delaware and Hudson Railway Company and constructed a railroad station, now the Souvenir Building. We're going to take a ride on the steamboat, the Minnehaha, built in 1969, and we're going to talk to its captain, Stephen Boyce.
Sun that we've had all day, so it's our last cruise of the day. It'll be a good way to finish off the day. And, Lake George is one of the cleanest and purest bodies of water in the world. We need your cooperation to keep the lake clean. We ask that you please throw nothing over the side of the boat. It's against the law. A few of the amenities on the Minnehaha. The restrooms are down on the first deck. Ladies' room is on the right hand or starboard side of the first deck.
So Steve, how long have you been, captain of the Minnehaha?
Only 42 years.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, wow.
Wow, that long.
Really? Yeah.
Well, is the ship that old?
Yeah, it's older than that. The first Mini was built in 1969, and then in 1998 they pulled it out of the water and cut it in half and pulled the two halves apart and then put 34 feet in the midships.
so they expanded
Wow.
it.
Yes.
So, and how many people could it totally hold, you know?
Right now,
full ship?
our capacity is just under 500 people, but you know, because of COVID, we lowered it to around 400.
400 per ride.
400 per ride.
Wow.
Yes.
And do you fill it all the time? I mean,
We do.
what's the peak season for it?
The last 2 weeks in July and first 2 weeks in August are really our prime periods.
And how long has the steamboat company been around?
1817.
1817.
1817.
So that's over 200 years.
Oh yes, yes.
So is this the oldest steamboat company?
Yeah, we say it's the oldest continuously operating steamboat company in the world.
America, in the world?
Yeah, yeah. The first boat on the lake was called the William Caldwell, and it actually had the steam engines came off the second steamboat in America, which was the Vermont. And so they just put the steamboat, the engine in here. So yeah, we have a long history.
And the first was a Claremont, right?
Yes, the first was the Claremont.
Claremont.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about being a captain of this boat?
Great question. It's changed over the years. I think when I first started, it was just the, you know, like the kid that drives the fire truck, you know, I get driving it. But I really, I think it's become the interaction with the passengers, because when I started this job, I was a relatively young parent with kids. My wife and I had 3 children, and we were that group that were, you know, we were the tourists. And I always remember how going to places where you were treated well. And that's what I get now. I truly enjoy meeting the people, talking to a little bit, kidding them around. But the other is just the team that we have, working with the team. And of course, driving the boat, beautiful lake. So I got a lot of favorites.
The most beautiful lake in
America.
In America.
Yeah.
According to Thomas Jefferson.
Yes. Yes.
So, what was anything like exciting, like any, I don't want to say like a mishap, but you know, something that, you know, maybe got your pulse going a little bit?
Well, that's again, there are many times when like the actions of other boaters. We have a lot of amateur boaters on the lake, and sometimes they create situations that you know, you still have to sound calm, and we run into storms and things on the lake sometimes that they run up very quickly. You know, and I think again, some of the storms on the lake where
Or just say any lightning strikes?
yeah, we get lightning, but the boat actually is pretty safe because it's grounded to the water.
Right.
So that is.
So even if you got hit, it would be okay.
Yes, as long as I wasn't talking on the microphone, a little bit of electronics. But yeah, no, I think sometimes the storms, because they come up very quickly, and sometimes the wind, when you're landing this boat is very flat bottomed, and when the wind catches us just right, and if it's a wind change, that gets your heart beating because you got to get it into the.
Because you don't want to crash
Yes,
into the dock.
yeah, and I've had some of those landings. I'd rather not talk about those.
No, we're editing that out anyway.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. I think the thing I always worry about is the potential for an accident on the boat. That's why safety is like our number one thing. We say it's safety and comfort of the passengers and the crew. But really, if we've had medical emergencies where we've had to come back, but luckily we've not, you know.
Now, what was the connection with the railroad? Because I remember reading something about the railroad owned the steamboat company for a while.
Well, probably from about 1880s until 1930s, 1920s, the Delaware and Hudson Railroad Company owned the Lake George Steamboat Company, and they also owned the Vermont Steamboat Company. So passengers would come up here. They actually were this was a railroad station
Right.
for the Delaware and Hudson, so people could come up here, get up. The landing was right on the steel pier here. They could come off, walk onto this boat, go up to the northern end of the lake, and dock at Baldwin Dock at Ticonderoga, and get off there, get on a train that would take them over to Champlain, and they had a landing that was a combination steamboat dock and railway station, so they could actually,
So-
then they could go on
Canada?
up to Canada. Yes,
Oh.
yeah, and so the boat very, very, very coordinated. So
Do you hold parties on the boat ever?
yeah, parties. Yes, this boat can be reserved, and we'll have groups go out, and we have that a lot of times in the spring of the year or the fall of the year. But the spring of the year, we'll do a lot of class reunions or high school classes. They come up, and those are fun. That's a good.
So is the biggest revenue stream just regular tourists, or is it like these groups?
Oh no, it's for the Minnehaha. It is the number of people we carry every day. We have.
And you're the biggest boat, right?
No, we're not. Actually,
not.
that one over there is the biggest. But yeah, we are.
You're more popular.
We are more popular, and we do more cruises. We'll do 7 cruises a day, 1-hour cruises, and we'll go out, and when weather is good and people are here, we go out close to full. Yeah, and we have a lot of people that come back. I can't tell you how many people will say, "I rode this boat back when I was a kid," or "We
I was
come
gonna
here
say
every year."
generational, right?
Yeah,
so-
yeah. We had a few years ago. We celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Mini, and I remember a woman came back and she said, "I've ridden this boat every year
For 50 years.
for 50 years." I said, "Yeah." They said, "You do the narration next time."
Yeah, right.
But no, we do. It's. I think it's for some people it's a rite of passage. One time, a man came on the boat and he said he had a picture of another captain, and he said, "Do you know this captain?" And I happened to do, because it was a captain that I broke in with, and he said, "Well, when I rode the boat with my father 40 years ago, and we had our picture taken," and he showed me the part of the boat that,
Right.
and he said, with the captain, he said, "You mind? Could I take your picture with my son?" He said, "I was 6 years old. Now my son is 6 years old. Could we take the photo?" And I said, "Let me stop crying." But yes,
Past the
yeah,
generation.
no, it was. And,
Oh,
that's
that's
kind of one of my favorite stories about just how the attraction of the boat. And it is the boat is made for kids of all ages. But it's a very, doesn't rock a lot of, it's a good.
It was a great ride and great history.
Yes,
your
thank
narration.
you.
No,
Yeah,
it's
we
a-
really appreciate going on the ride too, learning about it.
It's I was formerly a social studies teacher and taught Adirondack history, and
Oh, you
this
did?
is just a chance to
Right.
visit old friends, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
good.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. From its tranquil waters to its rugged shores, Lake George has long been a place of inspiration, a natural haven that has shaped the lives of those who have visited and called it home. Over the centuries, it has been a battleground for empires, a playground for adventurers, and a sanctuary for those seeking place in the embrace of nature.
Today, as the world around it continues to change, Lake George stands as a reminder of the enduring connection between humanity and the natural world. Its waters still reflect the hopes, dreams, and stories of those who have come before and those who come after.
Lake George, the Queen of American Lakes, continues to shine, offering both a glimpse into the past and a promise for the future, a place where history, beauty, and serenity live on, timeless and unyielding, forever a part of the Adirondacks, forever a part of our story. I'm Don Rittner,
And I'm Justyna Kostek.
and this is
History on the Road.
Hi, I'm Don Rittner.
And I'm Justyna Kostek.
And this is
History on the Road.
And somebody ran right by us. Well, we hope you enjoyed that adventure. It's amazing, though, how... Can you hear that plane?